Hello, my fellow broke aristocrats, and a happy tea time to you. Today's tea, brought to you by Dr. Whimsy, is a simple mint tea. Where did it go? I went with a simple mint tea again. I've done this before. This time, though, I mixed my tea with a little lemon balm also. Mint is good for digestion. It has a cooling effect, so sometimes people who have acid reflux will do well with a little bit of mint tea. I went ahead and added a little mint. To the mint, I added lemon verbena, or melissa is its Latin name, and that is an anti-anxiety and calming. They actually taste really good together, and they're both part of the mint family. So I've been sipping on this today. I've been playing with my herbs because, as you know, I bought them in bulk. And I've been mixing and matching. Some taste better than others. Lemon balm tastes great, mint tastes great. Catnip really doesn't have much of a flavor. I don't understand why cats are so crazy about it. My cat goes crazy over catnip. And valerian root tastes like dirty socks. So there you go. I'm done with the tea, but I'll take a small sip and give it a try. It adds like a lemon flavor to your mint if you want to start playing with the teas. All right, so today's video is real simple. I'm going to give you 6 tips that don't cost you any money that can have a dramatic impact on your health. I'd be curious if people would be willing to do this for 21 days, and then 21 days after today, if you decide to do it tomorrow, let me know what happened to you physically as a result of 6 tips. These 6 tips are free. They don't cost any money. You might even actually save a little money, and they don't require exercise. If you want to add exercise as a 7th tip, you can go ahead and do that. But I'm just going to give 6 tips, and we're not going to include exercise this time. I'd be curious to see what the effects are. All right, so tip number 1 is to stop consuming any foods that contain sugar or corn syrup. That's soda pop or sugary drinks, or even putting 2 tablespoons of sugar in your morning coffee. I know that's difficult for those of us who like a good strong cup of coffee in the morning. You are allowed to have coconut sugar because it has a much lower glycemic index. You can get that on Amazon.com. You can get it at Trader Joe's. You can get it at the Kroger company in their baking section. I think it runs $3.99 at Kroger and approximately $4.99, give or take, at Trader Joe's. So again, lower glycemic index, and it's a great go-to sweetener if you're trying to reduce your consumption of corn syrup and sugar. So number 1, I can't stress enough, is to get rid of sugary soft drinks. Those can be replaced by what I just did, which was an herbal tea. That tea, by the way, tastes better cold even than it does hot, particularly in this hot weather. You can go ahead and make up a batch. Don't add any sugar to it. Keep it in your refrigerator. And it's just a really great thing. I also like fennel as an iced tea, which is great for digestion, but play around with your herbal teas. They don't contain caffeine, and they're cold, and they satisfy that craving for soda pop. They're also unbelievably cheap. If you're talking about a bag of something like 20 bags we're talking high-end organic teas, $5. You know, 1 bag can get you 16 ounces worth of beverage. So we're talking about it being cheaper than even generic soda pop. It doesn't really take a lot of work to do it. All you have to do is throw a couple of tea bags in a container, throw in 1 or 2 cups of boiling hot water, and then you're making what's called a tea essence. Let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, squeeze out the bags, toss them, and then fill the rest up with spring water and keep it in the fridge. That's what I do. That's how I make my tea. And I always keep it in the fridge, and I always have it there if I'm feeling hot. With the black teas, I will add a little bit of coconut sugar and lemon juice just to add a little flavor to it. So that was the first thing. Get rid of sugary soda pop, sugary drinks. Replace them with iced tea. The herbal teas are great. Pick up a couple of this celestial seasonings or whatever you see at the local grocery store. Give it a shot. I think you're going to be surprised at how great it tastes. And if you still want a little bit of sweetener, try coconut sugar. First tip. I see more people lose weight more quickly without any effort, simply by doing that one thing. We're talking about a really simple thing you can do. Like I said, let's report back in 21 days. Let's see how we did. Number 2, I don't like to see a lot of prepackaged foods. Prepackaged foods have a ton of preservatives in them that are used to keep things from going rancid. The other not so great thing about prepackaged foods is that they're loaded with sodium. Over-salting our food is associated with increased risk for hypertension. It's not good for us. If you don't have salt sensitivity, I imagine a little bit of salt is okay, but by and large, I really encourage people to try other ways to season their food with lemon and spices rather than going straight for the salt. So number 2 is to really stop buying prepackaged stuff. If it's ready-made and you just stick it in the microwave, excuse me, you stick it in the microwave, not good. If you take it off the shelf, add some water, add some chicken, cook it up, that's also not good. It really doesn't take much time to do things from scratch. You can look at some old videos here on Broke Aristocrats. We always do stuff from scratch, and we always try to have a meal be a buck or two per per serving. It usually runs no more than $1 or $2. If you're looking for some great recipes. And I'll try, it's been really hot and I've had no motivation, but I will try and get some more cooking videos out there. Maybe I'll do like all cold stuff this week, who knows. All right, number 3, we don't want people to consume more than 5 to 7 servings of alcohol per week. There's a lot of studies on that, and probably even less if you're a woman. There's been studies not only on increased risk for alcoholism, which is associated with all kinds of chronic diseases, depression, suicide, etc., but it's expensive. It puts you at risk for accidents. And if you're a woman, drinking too much alcohol is actually associated with weight gain. Remember, it's empty calories, and that's true also for men. But we're also seeing a correlation between high amounts of alcohol and increased risk for certain types of cancer, breast cancer in women. So conservatively, we say with men and women about 5 to 7. Men, it's 2 drinks a day, but quite frankly, I would prefer it be less. Across the board, we'll say 5 to 7 generically, men and women alike. All right, number 4, I tell people to only do about 2 cups of coffee a day. And that's because coffee causes anxiety. It can raise your blood pressure if you are struggling with anxiety and depression. You really want to only have, if you want to have coffee in small amounts, it's fine. But as Dr. Amen, as you know, I attended his Healthy Brain Conference. He said that he really doesn't like people to do too much coffee because it's a vasoconstrictor. It actually inhibits blood flow to the brain, and that's something that's associated with poor brain and cognition studies. So he says no coffee. I think that's a little bit harsh, particularly if you love coffee as much as I do. What I say to people also, if you're having anxiety and depression, try and really reduce it to just 1 or 2 cups in the morning. And then that coffee that you sometimes want to be going for in the afternoon, do what I do and switch it to an herbal tea, and it'll satisfy that need to take that break, but you're not putting more caffeine in your body. Number 5, this is a really interesting idea, and there's been quite a bit of studies on it, and that is to stop eating 4 hours prior to bed. So think about that for a while. Stop consuming any food 4 hours prior to going to bed. This is different than intermittent fasting, where a person will only eat, say, for 8 hours in a day and the rest of the time they're fasting. I'm not asking anybody to do that. I'm just saying, let's see what happens if we stop eating 4 hours before bed. So if you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, your last meal will be completed by 6 p.m. If you get to bed at 11, your last meal would be completed at 7 p.m. A really great way to lose weight. And what it does is it also gives your digestion a rest. So you have stopped eating at, say, 6:30 at night. You put the food down. At 10:30, 11, you go to sleep. You wake up the following day. Maybe you'll have breakfast at 7 a.m. So you have given yourself a fast without even trying of 12 and a half hours. And simply by taking a break from digestion, your digestion improves, mood improves, your sleep may improve, and we see weight loss that way. And finally, the last thing I want to say to people is, this is my sixth tip, is to get to bed half an hour early. That's it, just half an hour early, particularly if you're somebody who's feeling tired, if you feel like you just are not getting enough rest, if you're starting to feel that crash in the afternoon, it could be a sign that you didn't sleep thoroughly during the night. And so if you're somebody who likes to stay up and watch Netflix till 1 in the morning, I know I fall into that category sometimes. I get into watching something and I stay up late, and then you get up at 7:30. It's real hard to make up that lost sleep time. So if you are feeling tired, and say you average going to bed at 11 and getting up at 6, let's see what we can do to just monitor your sleep and just add half an hour, and see if just adding that half an hour doesn't improve mood, cognition, and energy throughout the day. All right, those are 6 tips, and wasn't I nice? I didn't make you exercise. That'll come later. I want to thank you for watching this quick video. As you know, I am a medical minimalist. I try to show people effective, cheap, and easy ways to make little tiny steps throughout the day that have a dramatic improvement on their health. All right, we'll see you next time, my fellow broke aristocrats. Take care of yourselves and be well. Bye.